Hi, good afternoon. My name's Simon Hayter, and today we'll be discussing Turnkey Linux LAMP Stack appliance for VMware. So as you see, I'm at the turnkeylinux.org/LAMP Stack URL, and in front of me we're looking at the LAMP Stack appliance for VMware or the ISO and for other applications. So why use a LAMP Stack appliance over, say, XAMPP, or just installing Ubuntu or CentOS or Debian in VMware? Well, the problem with that is it's not a major problem. Is the ISOs are generally bigger. They've got a lot of stuff you don't actually need, and they don't actually have the stuff you need out of the box, like MySQL might not be included, Xcache, which is a benefit, phpMyAdmin, postfix, webmin, and the list goes on and on. So the LAMP stack will come with all these nice little perks along with the essentials that we need for our LAMP. So it's purely because it's easier to deploy, therefore it's faster as well. So let's not waste any time, let's download. So the first thing I want to do is download the 226 MB VMware. So save that, go to my downloads. I actually did download it earlier. What's that? There we go. So the website you get it from is fairly fast, as you can see. I'm on the 76 MB line, well, megabits. So that's pretty much, I'm near enough maxed out, give or take 1 or 2 megabytes. So as soon as we got that, we'll start to extract it. Okay, fantastic. Let's double click that. Let's extract it to the desktop. Let's minimize that window, close that window, and as you see, I've got VM loaded up. You don't need to have it loaded up. Now the file, you double click to import it in. So the file we want is the VMX, which can holds our settings, so we want that. So as you can see, it's done, it's imported it into VMware. First thing I want to do is make a turnkey folder to keep things nice and tidy. Turnkey lamps, or just call it lamp. So I'm going to move that in. I'm going to rename that to Turnkey Lamp Master. And I'll explain why, because we're going to make link clones, which won't make much sense now if you haven't done it before. But yeah, okay. Now it does actually specify 256 megs of RAM and only 1 processor. Now that's fine. I like to work with faster settings than that, purely because I'm a website designer, and for my projects I don't really need to do server-side testing of the resources it's using, because I know that I'm not programming or developing the website in terms of the code, so therefore I don't need a realistic environment how much memory it's got to play with. So I want a a lot of memory and a lot of processor, so I can work as quickly as possible. So if you do want to leave the settings as they are, you're limited, your computer's limited with RAM and processor, then by all means leave it, but in this case I'm going to increase it. So I'm actually going to take it up to 2 gig. I've got 16 gigs RAM in this computer, and but to be honest, you won't need more than 2. So I'm going to give it 2 processors with 1 core, or I could say 1 processor with 2 cores. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to click OK on that. Okay, fantastic. It's done the bridge. What bridge means is, if I click that and show you, bridge will give me an IP address from the actual router. So you're not using NAT to obtain like a bypass, so to speak. So I won't be going through this computer. Well, I will be going through this computer, but it will be getting a direct IP address and connection from the router itself. from itself. Sorry. If I use NAT, it will share the host's IP address. So I like that setting. So I'm going to click cancel and leave that as it is. I'm going to leave everything else, and basically I'm going to power that on now. So the first time you load this up, it will basically go through a few procedures like asking for your username and password. Doesn't take too long. Obviously, if you did increase the CPU and the RAM, it should be a little bit faster. So it's asking for a password for the root. Now I'm just going to use the same password because all I'm interested in is developing a website, and things like the OS passwords I don't need to worry about because it's not anything I'm going to copy across. So I leave a simple password, all the same, and that way I easily remember them. But by all means, if you are using this online constantly, then do make it more secure. Now you can use the Turnkey backup and migration tools and the dynamic DNS, but I'm not going to do that, so I'm going to skip that. I don't use it. So tab, skip. Now it's saying about security updates. Again, I don't need the security update, so I'm going to click skip, but if you do want the updates, then do select them. Okay, so now what it's done is it's thrown up a web address and a web shell, a webmin, and phpMyAdmin, and SSH and SFTP. That means it's actually loaded up, which is fantastic. So if I go to bring up this, put that to the left, close that down. So if I load up a new tab, I type in 192.168.1.16, you can see it loads up the Apache, which gives me the web shell, webmin, and phpMyAdmin, which I can easily go to. So if I click web shell, for example, I understand the risks, click confirm. I'm going to log in using the root and the password I specified, and as you can see, I'm now using SSH from the browser, which is fantastic. So I'm now actually going to close that down, power that off, close that window. Now what I want to do is I want to make clones, because basically if I go in and install in like a website on there, then I only have to reinstall that image. Now you could duplicate the VMX file and the VMXH file and do it that way, but I like to make link clones. They're very small and easy to manage. I'm going to go to manage, clone, next. Yep, the current state. I'm going to make a link clone rather than a full clone. Now what I'll do here is type clone, and then I'll do, like, for example, www. If I'm working on socks.com, then I'll do put that in brackets so I know exactly which virtual machine that is. So I'll click next. Only takes a few seconds and done. So that's cloned a linked clone. Throw it into there. Now if I show you, if I load up this one and I load up this one, doesn't take too long to load up. You can also suspend these rather than doing a full shutdown. You can just suspend them. So this is still booting up the one on the right, and I'll show you. So even though I made a full clone, you can see the master is running on 1.16, whilst the clone I made is 1.4. So any changes I do to the clone will not reflect in the master. Ideally you should leave the master as default, and then if you need to do any changes to the master, you update it or whatnot, and then you do a clone from there, and then all the other clones get that update. So if I just quickly show you, so 192.168.1.4, and you can see I'm back in there. I hope that helped, and I hope that speeds up your deployment and your overall efficiency on your projects. My name's Simon Hayter, and thanks for listening. Bye bye.